So if you're not familiar with it as well, Microsoft about 2 years ago now announced Link Room Systems. So Microsoft has been building what are called LRSs, Link Room Systems, with a couple of the hardware manufacturers for various conference room services. So Polycom is a traditional room-based system provider, Smart and Smartboards, most people are familiar with that, as well as Crestron and sort of the room-based controls. All three companies are involved in the LRS program and rolling out room-based systems for Link, because it was one of the areas that was often missing. If you've got an existing, investment in Polycom or Cisco infrastructure for room-based systems, that's fine as well, because Microsoft has announced the interoperability server. So there's going to be a new interoperability server available actually for both Link 2013 and Skype for Business, so it's not even going to require the upgrade, where you'll be able to connect Link directly through this interoperability server to 323-based room systems without using something like BlueJeans or or a Polycom bridge. And the reason that is key is because on a Polycom bridge we require a lot of resources to bring Link in. Polycom's been working on some solutions on their back end with the server side, but Microsoft has also taken the initiative and released the interoperability server so that we can do interop with 323-based room systems. So now with Skype for Business, you're going to be able to leverage that existing investment in your existing room systems, migrate to Link Room Systems if you want, and there's a benefit and a whole conversation we can have around Link room-based systems and their benefit contrasting to the other stuff that's on the market. But then also bring desktop video to the masses. Here I am, we're doing this webinar, and I know every once in a while you catch me looking up because I put my video up on my upper screen and my presentation's down on my lower screen. So, but I'm doing video from my home office, and I collaborate with my peers up and down the coast. And so you're bringing that desktop-based video into your room-based systems and then bringing it all together. One of the big things that's going to enable that is some of the codec changes and things. So if you're familiar on the back end with Link, we were running a bunch of different codecs, RTA, RTV. Microsoft was moving towards H.264 as a standards-based for video. They're also now going to bring in that Silk codec from Skype, which is a great codec for handling both low bandwidth, more challenged networks. It's a lot more robust, and it's one of the things that has led Skype to be so popular across the world, is that it handles various locations so well. It handles low bandwidth or more challenged networks in a great fashion. So bringing that Silk codec now into Link and presenting as an option for your communication. The other big thing, again, on-premise or in the cloud, some of the things that are announced but no dates or hard dates have been put to them yet, things like PBX in the cloud. So everything we've looked at, both on-premise and the cloud, we're still at that same link point today where if you want to run Skype for Business as an enterprise class PBX, you're still going to need to run it on-premise today. Now, Microsoft has announced that in 2016 they are going to offer hosted PBX in the cloud through Office 365. The other big announcement is the upgradability of Link to Skype for Business. So for anybody who's been in the industry for some time or taken a certification exam for either server or desktop at any point, we've always had the ability in the Microsoft solution set to do an in-place upgrade, right? To do an actual in-place upgrade. And whenever, I've been a certified instructor for the past 13 years, whenever I taught this to my students, the first thing I would say to them is, yes, here's all the information about doing an in-place OS upgrade. And here's why you will never really do it. And you're never going to do that because here's all the inherent flaws with it, and it doesn't really work all that well. And that's been true in our industry forever. Well, Windows 10 and Link 2013 to Skype for Business are the first times we're really seeing in-place upgrades come to the forefront as something that is a viable solution and is something that works. So we've seen it now with Windows 10. I've been piloting it for a while, and Link 2013 to Skype for Business upgrade has been announced that an in-place upgrade is in fact all you're going to need to do, because it's going to be the same server architecture on the back end. We're still going to have a front-end pool. We're still going to have an edge server. It's still going to need some form of reverse proxy in the DMZ. We're still going to have monitoring server role co-located with the front end. We're still going to have a SQL database on the back end if we're running true enterprise. So the server architecture really isn't changing. We might be adding in that interoperability server role if your organization needs it, but that's really only the major infrastructure change. So if your staff and organization is familiar with running Link 2013, they've already got a leg up on Skype for Business, because that architecture is going to remain mostly the same. And we're going to have that ability to do in-place upgrades. And there's still a lot of organizations who are going to be gun-shy, and if Link is your existing PBX, doing an in-place upgrade and having downtime may not be something you're comfortable with and you want to do a side-by-side upgrade, and that's fine as well. That still would be an option, but that in-place upgrade is there. So when we think about your timing for your Link 2013 project, if you're in progress, there's no need to stop. There's no need to halt, because the server architecture is going to be the same. We're still going to be able to virtualize it. In fact, it's still going to be encouraged to virtualize it. We're still going to have all of that great features and functionality and control. We're just going to upgrade the back end. So that's, again, I keep going back to, from an IT organization, I do sometimes refer to it as Link 2015, just to convey that message of it's still Link, it's just getting a name brand change.